Good morning. Welcome to day 9 of this 30-day flexible body, flexible mind yoga challenge. So day 9, our intention is learn. That's really the theme we're working with in both this 10-minute yoga flow as well as your daily yoga challenge, which is part 2 of today's video. So this is a 10-minute all levels yoga practice. No props are required, and we're going to begin in a wide like a child's pose. So you can bring your big toes together to touch, and you really get to choose how intense you want this to be by how wide apart you bring your knees. The closer they are, the easier this will be. Be really careful not to push too much and strain your hips or your lower back. Think of lifting out of your lower back as you walk your hands out in front of you and melt on down. So probably, personally, my favorite pose to do first thing in the morning. Using this as an opportunity to connect with your breath and to establish a breath rhythm that is nourishing and supportive. A breath rhythm you can maintain throughout this 10-minute morning yoga class. So what does it mean to you to have a one-word intention for the day of learn? And of course, the challenge will help you really commit to that intention. It's great to work on making our bodies more flexible, but our yoga practice is the most meaningful when it serves to open up and broaden our minds. So just take 2 more breaths right here. And we're going to lift ourselves up, just coming to tabletop pose for a few rounds of cat and cow. Hands under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, spread your fingertips wide. And we're going to inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. And as you exhale, reverse this. Really push into your fingertips and knuckles. Try to take the weight out of your wrists. Inhale into a back bend. Exhale, round it in. 2 more here. Squeezing your shoulder blades behind you. And then broadening them away from each other as you round. Last one. Coming back to neutral, we're going to find our downward facing dog. Walk your hands out a couple inches before curling your toes under and lifting your hips up and back. Stretching out long here. Create some space through your legs, through your spine, through your arms. And let's go ahead and reach our right leg up towards the sky. Bend your right knee and open up your hip. Keep pushing into that right hand. Just get a nice thigh stretch here. And now you're going to step your right foot about halfway to your hands. So kind of at the middle of your mat. And we're going to, from here, pivot so that you're turning all 10 toes, pointing them over towards the right side of your mat, and I'm leaning on the edge of my left foot. You're going to reach your right arm all the way up and over, bicep along the ear. Push both feet into the floor to lift your hips up as high as they'll go. Big breath in here. And then drop that left hip down towards the mat and reach your right hand towards the back of the mat. So you should be feeling a nice big stretch along the side of your body. Try to stay lifted out of that left shoulder. Look down to the floor to help with support. Bring that right palm back down. Lift your heel off the ground and find three-legged dog once more. Straighten that leg up as high as it'll go. and bring your right foot down. Second side, left leg rises. Bend your left knee, open up your hip. Try to keep your shoulders squared as you lift that knee up even higher. And we'll step our left foot like a foot or so behind your left hand, kind of halfway. And then roll onto the edges of both feet so that all 10 toes are pointing towards the left side of your mat. You're leaning on your right hand and you're extending your left arm up and over. Push into the floor to help lift your hips. And then bring that right hip down towards the mat. Reach your left hand to the back. Big side body stretch here. And we'll look down at the floor. Use your left hand planted for support. Lift that right heel off the ground. Three-legged dog. Keep that left leg straight as you extend it up. And drop that left leg down. Bring both knees to the mat and set your hips back on your heels. Just take a moment here to roll and relax your shoulders. Go ahead and bring your left hand back behind you, and we're going to swing that right arm up and over. Lift your hips off of your heels, like a camel pose, but adding a side bend. And release back down. Same thing to the other side. Right hand down, left arm up. And let's release. And go ahead and crawl all the way down onto your belly. Let's find our sphinx pose. So you can bring your forearms on the mat, palms flat to the floor. Feet are about hip-width distance apart or so as you lift up through your chest and roll your shoulders back. Three deep breaths here. And go ahead and lower your chest down. Reach your arms back behind you, palms facing down to the mat. We'll do full Shavasana locust pose. So you're going to lift your upper body up and lift your legs up as well. So really strengthening along the back body. Engaging through the posterior chain. Roll your shoulders, head of the arm bones back. And release. You can just flip over onto your back from here and draw both knees in towards your chest. Just giving it a big squeeze here, maybe rocking a little from side to side. And to further release the lower back, something I like to do is to just bring my hands over on the tops of my knees. I'm going to inhale to straighten my arms and move the thighs away from me. And I'm going to exhale to bring them in. And as much as possible, I'm trying to keep my legs and my hips really quiet and soft. So they're not moving or doing any of this work. It's really my arms that are pushing them away and bringing them back in. Take two more. Release your feet flat to the floor, as wide as the mat. Just let your knees fall in towards one another. Rest your palms on your lower belly. Notice how you feel now in your body, as opposed to when you first stepped onto your mat. It really hasn't been long. Our yoga practice does not need to be overly complex or long in order to be effective. And we'll be coming up to take a seat so we can close together. You can rock up or just roll to the side. And sit up tall here. Close your eyes. Hands at your heart. Let's chant Om one time. Breathing into chant, inhale. Thank you so very much, everyone, for doing this short 10-minute morning yoga flow with me. I hope you feel a lot more comfortable in your body overall and that you're in a better mindset to start your day. Remember to watch the second video for today, which will give you a fun little challenge around our theme of learning. So a really fun one. Hopefully you'll join me again tomorrow morning for day 10. So we'll be a third of the challenge done already. Thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow.